with you, but at least I want to know it's there. So I'm thinking about Satan being funny. So we live in a world that, like, our fears are, you know, like a comics fan club, or like someone's going to not like you on Facebook. We're fairly close to a time when we'll see cannibalism in our life, and people will kill each other for nothing, right? So bear in mind that, like, there's things to be scared of, and the only way out of that is to act this way, which gets you scared in this fake world. Facebook likes are an illusion. It's nothing. No one cares, right? Ask anybody who's experienced the Civil War. The way out, it always starts with people being like, don't say the truth or you're out. There's no way to self-correct. Joe Rogan's 3'1". I'm not going to lie about it. So anyway, so think about Satan and a joke. That's one thing about Satan that bothers me because of my profession. Although the way I do comedy is way, way, way different, but unfortunately, Satan is hilarious in a very dark way. Growing up, we always had like Faustian deals and all this stuff. They're all punchlines from setups where you sell your soul to the devil for a Ferrari, but it never has any gas. You know, you get all the books in the world because you're a reader and you break your glasses and there's no one else. You know, and Satan's just like, ha, ha, ha. You know, you become famous. And, you know, it's constant. Like, the devil is always giving you what you asked for, but it destroys you. And that's comedy. It's literally juxtaposition, irony. It's everything that creates a joke. So think about this joke. And it's the biggest joke in the world. South Park literally did an episode about it called Funny Bot, where they created a robot that was the best comedian in the world. And he's like, I am Funny Bot. He's like, why do the Mexicans still... And people would just die laughing, and they're like, Funny Bot, you're so good. He's like, the algorithms make me the funniest robot in the world. And the ultimate joke of Funny Bot was to kill the entire world and then just go, awkward. And the boys figure it out, and they're like, Funny Bot, no. And he's like, I have done the calculations. The greatest setup punchline would be entire world genocide and simply say, awkward. And he was right. Think about setup. Okay, like today, me and Fox were joking because I have literally a fence addiction. This is a joke premise, and it's just real. So we've been trying to get on the phone. I talk on the phone so little, and it's so hard to get in touch with me for a variety of valid and non-insane reasons. That I was like, okay, Sunday, I'm not doing any work outside. Because, like, when I'm working with my hands, I can't look at a phone. I hate phones. My phones are always broken. And so I'm like, no fence building. We're laughing about it. So I wake up. I look at the fence I scrambled to build last night for these ducks. It's all, like, lopsided. And listen, I'm taking pride in my fence work now, and I don't want my, later work to be so bad. And also, it's the ground was all like saturated with water and the cement didn't take it. It was a mess, right? So I'm like, yeah, I told myself I wasn't gonna do any fence work today, but I could just go to Lowe's and just see what they got, because I'm starting to see that I shouldn't like dig too deep because the post, there's not a lot of structural foundation. So, and so I go there. I'm like, wrought iron, nice. Okay, I'll even show you pictures. And by the way, this is what comedy is. I'll show you even pictures with it. Hang on. 1 second. And I'll get to all these other ones. These are all pretty funny. So, there's the devil laughing. And it's so true. The devil is a comedian, dude. That's why satanic comedians aren't funny anymore. Because the devil, they're the straight man now. And the devil's funny. That's why people are like comedians aren't funny now. I mean, I'm funny because I'm not satanic. But the devil, the comedians that are owned by the devil, now those guys are all like, that's problematic. Don't say that because the devil's like, wait for it. Guys, it's such a joke setup. Okay, so anyway, I had no idea that I was going to. So we got these ducks. I happen to really, really respect and be fascinated by ducks. I don't care about chickens as much, but like ducks are like, I really want to keep them safe and I really like them. And so I start building the fence, and then dark is coming and there's eagles and coyotes. So I have to do a really good job. Like if I mess up, they die. So when people are like, oh, you're so passionate about your fence, it's kind of weird. I'm like, yeah, like when you mess up at work, you just don't get to clean up a little cum off a floor. But like when I mess up, animals die. And people are like, well, you don't even get paid. Like you do that like 10 hours a day. Like you make really good money doing comedy. Yeah, well, currency doesn't matter. And I'm trying to like stay sane and see. I'll get to all that in a minute. But so then, this is what it looks like now. I got a wrought iron fence because that doesn't have to go in the ground. It's more stable. It looks pretty. It's everything about it I like. So me and Vox are trying to get in touch about the book. And I'm not lying at all, but I know I'm realizing I'm like, yeah, I have a hard time with Skype on my phone, blah, blah. And meanwhile, I'm outside building fences when I said I wasn't going to be building fences. And he's a real laid back guy. So, like, if you're like, oh, I can't do it, he just doesn't care. But, like, he was like, because I was like, yeah, let's do it tomorrow. He's like, yeah, but Skype has to work, ... And the ... I was like, oh, I seem like I'm like lying. I almost sound like I'm lying. When I'm like, yeah, my phone doesn't work, right? It doesn't. And I have like weird issues with my phone and I don't have a voicemail and my Skype's all fucked up. And yes, there's a chance that someone's actively fucking with me with it. And that's not paranoia. That's real. And then I started laughing. I was like, my fence building is almost like a drug addiction. It's like my fence addiction is now affecting my business relationships. Because I'm outside. I'm not at a computer. If I was at a computer, I could have Skyped. But I'm out there building fences. When I said I wasn't gonna, it started Gateway. I just wanted a couple iron rods. Before you know it, I'm buying kiddie pools and hay. And that's funny. Why? Because there's such a big difference between those two forces. You have drug addiction, and then you have fence building. That's why that's funny. It's called juxtaposition. It's like, it's when two things next to each other, when you have a very serious thing, and then something like nothing, right? So, that's why when Funny Bot killed the entire world, which couldn't be more horrifying, and then just went, awkward. That's literally the biggest joke ever written. If you're into I like how jokes relieve stress and do uncomfortable truths and make people feel a sense of community. I really do. And those of you that like my comedy can attest to that. But comedy itself can be so evil. And Satan is the biggest comedian in the world because he's always, when you love yourself too much, like self-love is not good, guys. Come on. It's like, I'm just trying to work on me. Stop focusing on you. Okay, real quick about that. So, thanks to whoever did this, but I got to really explain this real quick. Okay, Larry Elder did, how did the pound sign become a hashtag? Pound me too, hashtag. Okay, so No Park Bear said, credit for this joke belonged to Owen Benjamin Comedy. Yeah, I did that joke way, way, way before everybody. Almost got kicked off Patreon. It went viral, then they stopped it. I don't care anymore because I don't serve me. And that's fucking freeing. That's not me being a martyr. That's like, I'm like, please spread jokes. Like, a lot of the ideas I'm transmitting are thousands of years old, guys. Like, they're not mine. Spread it. I wrote that joke, but like, keep comedy alive, And people are like, why don't you care anymore? I'm like, I care so much that doesn't matter. I don't need people to know that was me. That's funny as fuck. I don't matter like that. Like, the purpose matters, So I'm thinking about Satan's giant punchline. So you got Joe Rogan's little death quiet. And they haven't threatened me at all, by the way. This is all totally not even a real thing. This is just someone concerned about me. And I'm like, what are people scared of these days? They're scared of social ostracism in a little screen world that isn't real. They're scared to be called racist when everyone knows it isn't racist. Even though they have all the food they could eat, even though it's so easy to meet another person and start a family, everyone's right there. There's no gulags, no prisons. Like, most of human history is horrifying with a lot of this stuff. So we're so obsessed with things that don't matter at all. And in not that far distance of a future, hundreds of millions of people will starve to death for sure. Satan created the biggest punchline. So it takes a comedian to beat a comedian, right? So, because that's why Satan now has all these people and Satan's like, don't ruin the joke. Don't ruin the joke. Come on. You know, and when I'm saying like, oh no, all you have to do is, because there's a way out of this, guys. This is a big opportunity. We don't all have to die. We can flourish. Because me preparing for this, don't be like a bunker guy. There's a weird type of person that's almost looking forward to an apocalypse so that they can be psychotic. You ever notice that? Also, there's people that are like, their whole world is about bunkers and preparing, and that's kind of mentally unhealthy because it could take 50 years. Could be a month. The real value, and this was another thing I saw that was it was eye-opening and heartbreaking. Someone was like, Big Bear, what can I do? I don't even have any money. I'm just a dude. Like, I'm like, and people don't know their value. We live in a world with Planned Parenthood and like everyone being like, the earth can't handle humans. Humans are the most valuable thing in the world. So this is what I've been doing to prepare. Community. Like what I'm saying isn't like platitudes or me being like, of many come one. It's as real as anything. Trust in a community is the most valuable thing you can have, right? We have that here. So I'm like, okay, perfect analogy. If Netflix right now completely shut down, I would not notice because I don't use Netflix. There's people that would be spiraling. Now take that principle and add it to fake material wealth based on a fraud, right? You can survive this. So now I'm like, okay, imagine a world without money. Bear in mind, I am pro-money. Capitalism makes brilliant sense with efficiency, all that. Our money is worth nothing. It was completely stolen. Gold-backed money, when it's like, you can get $10 of gold if you have this piece of paper. Capitalism is it makes trade so fluid, it's awesome, right? Our money has no value. That's a tough reality. And there's going to be people in your life being like, oh no, but it's backed by trade. It's gone. It's gone. So what has value? Humans, trust, love, faith, skills, right? So me and my boy Ryan down the street, we talk about this stuff. We hang out and our families are tight and we're going to go hunting. Like his wife and my wife both love growing stuff and like cooking. Like she knows everything. My other buddy Phil is an ex-cop who's just like knows how to like fix cars and makes guns. He's funny. And we're all like hanging out. We're like, these aren't threats. That's assets. That's like, okay, you work on this, but I don't know how to do that. Well, we'll figure it out. Love, trust. Human beings are incredibly compassionate. It's just only to the people they know. To the people they don't know, they'll burn you in a lake of fire. Like fact. So if you live in a world with no community, like you don't know your neighbors, that's as vulnerable as you can be for this. Another thing, if you rely on the government or programs or all that stuff to give you fake money to get food that's unhealthy for you and all that, you're already dead. Cities are all going to go. Like zombie apocalypse style, guys. And here's another hilarious punchline by Satan. They make us feel grateful for this world, right? They're like, you go in a supermarket, you're going to have a kiwi or a pear, or it's like all poison now. You don't think you can grow a diverse amount of food? I'll get to that. They're like, Anomaly, my boy Anomaly's a great dude. He had a really sweet pod yesterday, but like one thing he said, he was like, it's never been better for gay people or trans people. Guys, it's never been worse. If you're gay or trans, to live in a world that celebrates it will escalate that thing in your head that leads to really like an unhealthy, horrifying life. My piano teacher was transgender my whole childhood, and it was taboo. But, very libertarian, just do it. Just kept, you do you, I do me. Larry used to be cool. Like being transgender wasn't even the top 50th most interesting thing about this human being. Brilliant brilliant musician, like out there, wacky, just, whatever. Ever since they've been celebrating trans stuff, like Larry's now bad. Like Larry used to have my back when the trans mob came at me. They're like, Owen doesn't hate trans people. I've known him 30 years. Lately, Larry's like, well, the human spirit is multi-gendered and like children should know that. I'm like, oh God, Larry's now bad. And it was because the whole society didn't serve Larry. And that can happen to me as well, by the way, guys. That's why I need honest feedback. I mean, not what happened to Larry, because I'm not obsessed with myself. I'm not focused on myself. I believe in God, Jesus. I have paths to never be like, oh, we can put on children what I am. Like, no, but the principle's still the same. We have the whole world being like, you're brave, you're great. Like, what you are is so special and awesome. And Larry's like, it is, isn't it? Back when Larry was just a weirdo with that stuff, but other than that, really awesome. Fine. Now that the world's doing this to Larry, poor Larry is awful. Never want to talk to that person ever again. It's like, it ended with me being like, stay the fuck away from kids, Larry. And by the way, Larry's never going to like touch a kid or anything like that. It's like, but never tell a kid that gender doesn't exist. We're all genders. Like, don't fuck with kids' heads. Like, you are not right on this thing. You're an anomaly. Like, you're a weirdo. And I'll accept that if we all accept that's weird. So we live in a world where we're forced to be grateful for the things that are poisoning us. We have the greatest government in the world. No, they're awful. Like, our food is poison. Our money doesn't work. And all it's doing is creating man babies out of us. Well, we have the internet. We can communicate so fast. People use it for just porn. People use it to isolate and shame. This is all so classic Satan. It's called a Faustian deal. It's you get all the sex in the world and then you lose your dick. And Satan goes, ha, this is Satan, right? And yeah, just look at him laughing. And Satan's funny, man. It's like, I don't want to admit that because that's my career. But I'm not satanic. But just know that there's an element of irony that's pure Satanism. That's why I'm trying not to be sarcastic. Even though it's still funny sometimes. I'm not doing it in a bad way, but like it's dabbling in the upside down world. So Satan has created a world where idiots are completely upside down and he's dying laughing. People are like, well, aren't you worried that like the comedy community is going to turn on you because you mocked Joe Rogan? Then maybe I'm like, guys, if you don't have a fresh water source, someone like you're dead, man. It's like your own and people are like, oh, Owen Benjamin's insane. He's like, he's ranting about the apocalypse out in the wilderness. It's like, my heart literally goes out to these people. They will die in complete panic. Okay, here's a perfect antidote for this. Sam Harris pities truck drivers, right? He's like, when AI comes, 5 million truck drivers will be out of work, and what will they do in society? Sam, truck drivers could shut down the entire country in 3 days. Truck drivers have infinitely more power than you, Sam. And by the way, AI is not going to take down truck drivers. No chance. This is masturbatory bullshit out of these people's mouths. My boy, like one of my best friends, is a truck driver. If all the truck drivers were like, we're not going to drive the trucks. You have no food, no oil, no water, nothing. All society collapses. And you guys are sitting, want to know who else has a lot of power? Plumbers. Okay, imagine like Google, they're sitting there and they're like, we have the algorithms, we must make it so no problematic cisgender. Imagine if someone just turns off the pipes and go, you don't know how to fix this, and now you're drowning in your own shit. Like, the people we think have power have none. And the people that we pity have all of it. Want to know who else has a lot of power? Longshoremen. That's one reason why the commies took them so hard with unions and all that. If the longshoremen want to shut down a port, it's all over for us.